Hello, my name is Sheila Arrett, and I'm an infant and early childhood mental health consultant at Children's Resource Center. Thank you for watching today's teacher chat. We're discussing rediscovering joy in your job. Many new educators enter the profession with such excitement and joy about the thought of being a teacher and getting to work with young children and watching them learn and grow. They think about the lessons they'll create and the ways that they'll be able to teach children, and then the day-to-day responsibilities set in, and the weight of being a teacher can quickly diminish that joy and excitement they once had. And then add COVID-19 to the mix. And maybe all that together, you can relate to this meme here. Who says teaching is stressful? I'm 39 and feeling great. When in reality, you feel the weight and the responsibilities aging you pretty quickly. Or maybe you can relate to this meme, trying to stop thinking about the classroom issues and go to sleep. In this situation, the stress of being a teacher has not only impacted you in the classroom, but now it's coming home with you. And maybe it's in impacting relationships with loved ones or your ability to relax at night and go to sleep. And it can become a cycle, right? Of your stress at work, it carries home with you, and now you can't sleep. And so you're all the more tired the next day and maybe less apt to adapt to challenging situations or those behaviors that just are difficult to manage. And it goes on and on and on. So, when we're that stressed about work, our focus can begin to narrow in, and we can begin to just see the problems and the challenges that we're facing. Maybe we begin to question, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I shouldn't be an educator. Why did I get into this to begin with? When in reality, there are things that we still enjoy, um, and there are positives, but they've become like the trees on the side. They're blurry at the moment. They're still there, but we're not seeing them as clearly. And so one of the things that we need to start doing is broadening our focus again, and so that we're not just seeing the challenges, but we see those positives as well. And one thing we can do to help is remember why we got into the profession and what brought us joy to begin with. And writing those down, um, there's something about the physical act of writing it down that helps stick it to memory. And also, then on those challenging days where things just did not seem to go right, you can go back to that and look it over and remind yourself of those positives. Something else you can do is we all need support. We cannot do this alone. And regardless of COVID-19 and social distancing requirements and safety, there's still ways to stay connected, and we need that. So, whether it be virtually or over the phone, writing a note, there's still ways to stay connected, and we need somebody to hear us out and be there to listen. Um, and also maybe challenge us when we've lost sight of those things that are positive. Maybe they can speak truth and remind you that you've said you enjoy X, Y, and Z about your job. Where's that at right now? And is that still happening? Do you still like that? Um, and bring some perspective, because again, our focus has narrowed down often when we're stressed. And so someone outside the situation can help provide perspective and say, you've gone through challenges before. You'll get through this one again. And remember these things that you did enjoy about your job. We also need to stay connected with one another at our location, whether it be at your school or center. Maybe in the past you used to eat lunch together and now you can't do that in the lunchroom. Or maybe you had meetings together before the school day started, and had that time to interact, and now you don't. Now you go to your classroom and you're the only adult there all day with young ones, and you're lacking that adult interaction. There are still ways to stay connected, and that's important. Acknowledging those things that are going well, those successes. Maybe it's a student who's been struggling with something for days now, and they finally get it and they have that excitement. Note that and share that with others. Maybe your colleagues need to hear those positives that day as well. Memes, they're often lighthearted and funny. And when things seem to be heavy, we need something to break that up and to have something more lighthearted in the midst of that. Quote of the day. Children often say really funny things or really cute things that help, again, bring that lightheartedness to a day that can seem heavy. So taking note of those and sharing those where you can are great. Writing notes to one another, encouraging someone else, acknowledging what you appreciate about them or things that they've done that have been of encouragement to you. Not only does it help them in the moment, they can also, if it's a note, go back to it on those challenging days and read through it again to get that encouragement again and again. Inspirational sayings. So, our director at CRC starts every week with pictures and inspirational sayings on them. Um, and it's a way to encourage staff and start the week off on a positive note. The last one on this list is asking for help. If you're struggling with something or you're stuck on a situation and you just don't know what to do next, reaching out and getting assistance not only helps uh, reduce your stress for that, whatever that situation may be, but it also allows the other person to be of service to you. It helps them know that their insight was valued. I mean, you took the time to ask them, and so it benefits both individuals in those settings. Beyond staying connected, it's important that we continue with professional development. And you're taking the time to watch this video. You could be doing many other things. Your days are busy and you have a lot of responsibilities. Yet here you are taking the time to watch this. So you're taking those first steps. And beyond watching maybe this video or other ones that we've posted on YouTube, continuing with those trainings or webinars, they can help inspire you as a teacher. And maybe you hear new insight or just the enthusiasm of another educator or trainer when you're attending trainings can give you new insight, re-spark that joy that you once had. And maybe it offers you a simple solution to a challenge that you've been facing in the classroom. And who doesn't love a simple solution to a challenge, right? And making that easier. When you are inspired as an educator, that benefits your students. Maybe you're coming in with new strategies to help make things run smoother in the classroom. But it might just be that your mood is improved. And when you're better as an educator and when you're feeling more positive emotions, students see that. And young children, they feed off of the emotions of their caregivers. So when you're all the more at your best, it benefits them. It also can provide a change of pace. Um, Schedule can be day in and day out, uh, and it can seem very routine. So if you have the ability to attend a training here and there, I encourage you to take advantage of that and attend because it might just be that break that you needed and mix things up. Trainings right now are largely offered virtually. Hopefully soon we'll be able to go back to in-person trainings. That would be great for both trainers and attendees. But for the time being, you can find online trainings being offered at Okra. If you're able to attend the time slot, that's great. There are a few that are coming up in January that I know about and wanted to point out. One is called Practicing Mindfulness, Toxic Stress to Safe Zone, and From Contention to Calm. And I picked these all the more because from the list of the ones being offered, because they really, in my mind, go back to that topic of things being stressful right now and ways to help reduce some of that stress. Um, Also, beyond the ones being offered on Okra, uh, consultants at CRC can offer trainings specifically for centers if there's a topic that you want to learn more about at your location, whether it be a social emotional topic or something along the lines of trauma informed care. How can we help encourage your staff and empower them as well? If staffing right now is short and you don't have the time and availability to watch during your workday, edweb.net has over 1,000 recorded trainings that you can go to and watch at your own time and start and stop as you're able. I'm not sure how those impact licensure and certification, whether they'll qualify, but I encourage you to not limit professional development just to what will work for your license or certification. Do and watch things that um, are of interest to you and spark your creativity, your interest. That'll help build you as a professional and just continue that learning and excitement for yourself. Some ways that I've done that, especially during COVID, have been podcast and audiobooks. And a couple great podcasts for educators are Real Talk for Real Teachers. This is from Conscious Discipline and Dr. Becky Bailey. She interviews and many of the podcast educators from around the country and talks about strategies that they have implemented and what's gone well, maybe some things that didn't, and some of the results that they've seen. The Grow Kinder podcast is from the Committee for Children. The Committee for Children develops social and emotional curriculum for young children through high school and also has a curriculum about safety for teaching children safety and setting appropriate boundaries. Um, they have a podcast about social emotional development for both children and also the caregivers of those children. Um, what's great about both podcasts and audiobooks is that you can listen to them on your own time. And maybe when you're doing something more m- mindless or just routine, like dishes or laundry, driving home at the end of your day or starting your day with your commute to work. Um, there are a list here of some of the audiobooks that I found. I utilize my local library's resource of audiobooks. They have an app with my library called Libby, and you can get free audiobooks delivered right on your device. And then they automatically get returned. So there's no late fees, no having to run to the library or anything like that. And so it's allowed me to broaden the topics that I listen to and just keep me engaged and learning new things as well. A lot of the ones I've listed here are on social emotional development because that is my specialty as a consultant. But I wanted to point out one in particular, The Deepest Well by Dr. Nadine Burke Harris. She is a doctor out of California and worked with a community in San Francisco that was really struggling and saw many adverse childhood experiences in the patients that she was serving. And um, just really realized like those were a big impact to care and some of the consequences of those early childhood experiences. But she didn't stop there. She also talked about things that benefit individuals that have experienced adversity and ways that we can address that. And so that was a book that was really encouraging and insightful for me. Beyond professional development, consider what your day looks like. Are there things that are in your day that continually provide um, make things more challenging and are difficulty? And could those be adjusted? Your voice matters, and your insight onto those situations in your classroom is important. And so, if there is a problem, considering what solutions could be available to resolve that problem, and then taking that to supervisor or your director. If you come with a problem but then have some possible solutions, it'll appear that you're not just complaining about a problem. You've thought through it and you have some potential solutions. And if you do this in a respectful manner, you're all the more likely that it'll come across positively and the more likely to hear what you have to say and address the issue as well. We also have to consider what things bring pleasure to you and refill your tank outside of the work. What helps separate you from the classroom and then recharges you in the evening when you're maybe at home with family or friends, um, whether it be being in nature, spending time with loved ones, getting a hot bath, coffee, exercise. It's important that you know those things and practice those things that recharge you so that you're all the more prepared for the next day, both mentally and emotionally. And it's important not just to have one thing, as particularly right now, that one thing might not be available. And so, what do you do if you only have one thing that recharges you? It's important then to have multiple so that you can go to. Maybe that even that one thing isn't working as well. So you can go to that second thing or third thing to help recharge you in a stressful moment. And I go back to the question that I started with of what brought you to the profession and what brought you joy to begin with. When we're stressed and in the midst of that tunnel vision, it can be hard to think of those things. So, in researching this topic, I found an article that listed some, and I pulled out a few of those and wanted to share those with you. As an early educator, you're getting to watch children learn things for the first time. And when children do this, there's such excitement and joy if we as adults watch them conquer their tasks that they've been trying and getting that sense of accomplishment. And that's a great feeling to be part of that. Every day is something new. While there are routines and patterns and that may seem day in and day out, children themselves bring newness every day. Young children uh, say and do things in unexpected ways, and that can provide newness to the day. And so, taking a moment to enjoy that and just enjoying how children interpret the world and how their world is new to them because their life and experiences are shorter. So there's a lot of excitement and joy in those new things as well. You're getting to help shape healthy habits in children from the get go. Early education is a great opportunity to help teach children healthy social skills and ways to interact with others, um, and cooperation and just being a part of a group, not to mention also the additional foundational academic skills. And both the social and the academics get to carry with them. And you're starting them off on a great foundation. And you get to be that person that helps build that. Let's be real, children can be hilarious. They say and do things that, where did that come from? I'm not sure. Take a moment to laugh and enjoy those moments. And like I was mentioning with a book from Dr. Nadine Burke Harris, children experience adversity, and that can have long term consequences. But studies have also found that it just takes one healthy adult to help buffer those stressors and the potential consequences of those stressors. And you can be that healthy adult in that child's life that's consistent. You're in the classroom day in and day out. They know you're going to be there, and you can be that warm, welcoming, understanding adult that helps them learn and grow. Uh, in researching this, um, saw a interview with Oprah on 60 Minutes, and she's talking about the adversity that she experienced as a child. And it wasn't her family, it wasn't um, friends that really were that buffer for her. It was her school and it was her teacher. And she has this quote, for every one of us that succeeds, it's because there's somebody there to show you the way out. The light doesn't always necessarily have to be in your family. For me, it was teachers in school. That was that safe haven for her. What you do matters. And you need to remember that on the hard days, when it doesn't seem like things are going well. Your pay will not reflect your value, and but it's there, and you're making a difference in the lives of the children that you are teaching. Um, Maybe well beyond what you will ever know. I looked at several resources when putting this together. Penn State Extension has a great tip sheet on rediscovering joy. Harvard Graduate School of Education as well has a great article. Um, educationdegree.com has some just those benefits. They have a list of things that if we forget those positives, we can go to and remind ourselves. Also, the interview I was talking about with Oprah, it's on 60 Minutes, and there's a link on YouTube to see that. Beyond these resources, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch any of our videos there. There's over 140 now on various social emotional topics for educators and parents. Feel free to search for a topic that's specific for you and what you're interested in. Or you can also find us on Facebook. We're regularly updating resources there that we're finding. There's a lot of great things out there right now, and we're sorting through those and including those on our Facebook page. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I hope it's been beneficial.